Hello, 6th grade math students. This is Chapter 6.1, Understanding Percents. In this chapter, we're going to learn to understand percent notation, as well as how to write equivalent fractions, decimals, and percents. Let's get started. Let's begin by simply defining percent. A percent, like a ratio, is used to compare two quantities. The only difference is that percents always compare one quantity to 100. You can express a comparison such as 45 out of 100 as a fraction, as a ratio, or as a percent. In fraction form, we'd write 45 out of 100 or 45 over 100. In ratio form, we would write 45 to 100. And in percent form, we would write 45%. This symbol right here always means out of 100 or percent. So let's practice expressing a part of a whole as a fraction and a percent. 72 out of 100 cats are long-haired cats. What percent of the cats are long-haired cats? First, we'll write this as a sentence. 72 out of 100. Now we can write this in fraction form. 72 out of 100. And now we'll express that as a percent. 72 out of 100. Because remember, this symbol, this percent symbol, means out of 100. So 72% of the cats are long-haired cats. Now let's try a word problem that doesn't give us a quantity out of 100. A fruit display of 50 apples has 43 green apples. What percent of the apples are green? So we'll begin by writing this as a fraction. 43 out of 50 apples are green. Now we need to make our denominator 100, because if we're looking for percent, it has to be over 100 or per 100. Fortunately, this one is quite easy to see. 2 times 50 will give us 100. So we're simply going to multiply numerator and denominator by 2, giving us 86 over 100. Therefore, 86%, or 80 per 100, of the apples are green apples. Let's try one more problem before I have you try some on your own. This problem gives us a quantity greater than 100 and asks you to reduce. Of the 2,000 people at a concert, 240 are teachers. The rest are students. What percent of the people at the concert are students? Well, the number we have here shows us the number of teachers. The first thing we need to do is reduce our denominator so that we can get it closer to 100. The first and easiest thing to do will be to divide both by 10, giving us 24 over 200. Now we want to divide the numerator and denominator by 2 so that we have a denominator equal to 100. That gives us 112. So 12 100ths. So 12% of the people at the concert are teachers. But that's not what our question asked. The question wants to know what percent of the people at the concert are students. Well, to find out that percentage, we simply need to take 100%, our whole, and subtract 12%, our percentage of students, to give us teachers, to give us 88% of the people at the concert being students. So, if we have 240 out of 2,000 people being teachers, that tells us that 88% of the attendees at the concert are students. Now let's try some problems on your own. Here are 2% problems to try on your own. In number 1, 14 of 25 chairs are brown. Calculate what percent of the chairs are brown. In number 2, 32 monkeys are in a zoo that has 300 animals. What percent of the animals at the zoo are monkeys? And what percent of the animals are not monkeys? Press pause while you work, and when we come back, we'll learn to express percents as fractions or decimals. Let's finish up Chapter 6.1 with one final idea, and that is how to express percents as fractions or decimals. So let's say we have a percent, 24%. Now we want to express it as a fraction in its simplest form. So the first thing we'll do is we'll rewrite this as a fraction, which will be 24 over 100. Remember that percent sign means out of 100 or per 100s, so we have 24 out of 100. Now we simply simplify this fraction. Each is divisible by 4, giving us 6/25. So 24% written as a fraction in its simplest form is 6/25. The next idea is to present a fraction as a decimal. So let's express 78% in decimal form. 78%, or 78 per 100, is the same as 78 over 100, or 78 hundredths. So let's write this as 78 hundredths, 0.78. Ta-da! You're done. 78% written as a decimal form is 0.78. That's it. Here are your final practice problems for Chapter 6.1. For problems 1, 2, and 3, please express each percent as a fraction or mixed number in the simplest form. For problems 4, 5, and 6, please express each percent as a decimal. I'll see you tomorrow for more practice with this new idea, percents. See you then.